Hi guys, so it's Auntie Ejay in the building. It's another exciting episode of Unplug with Auntie Ejay. I know you've been looking forward to the next episode, so today sit, watch and enjoy the stories with real people. We're having real talk and I'm sure you are not going to be disappointed with what you're going to hear. So have an amazing sit. Where's your popcorn? Pick it up and watch. Bye guys. We laugh, we show up, we shine, but sometimes it's all a cover. Today we are talking about the masks we wear and what it really takes to be seen beyond the smile. And with me today in the studio is the delectable Ms Catherine Uche. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So tell us about yourself, just a little about yourself.
Okay, my name is Catherine Uche. I'm a mother of 3. I'm an entrepreneur. And I'm a lover.
I like that. I like the lover part. So we love love. We like to love. So today we're talking about the masks. You know, you see how she's smiling, she's all up and doing. But let's get honest. What's one mask that you wore so well people didn't even know you were struggling beneath you? Maybe one.
I'll say marriage.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. Marriage was a big mask for me, and a lot of people felt I had it all put together.
Wow.
But they didn't know I was in pain and I was dying of a lot of load. I couldn't talk to people because I don't want people having a negative view about my marriage.
Wow.
That was what I felt, you know, and I didn't want it to be the a lot of people were looking up to me, especially in the Christian circle. So we grew up with you stoop to conquer. We grew up with with that mentality, and we grew up with this ideology that when things are tough, when you can't handle things, don't tell anybody. You can't do it. Just stay in there. You can do it, and nobody knows the other part of you. So you keep carrying that weight, thinking everything is okay. You get to pat a lot of people on the back, but nobody gets to pat you on the back because they see you as the hero. Wow. And because you want to make everybody okay, so you have to continue wearing the smiles.
Wow.
And if you don't, if you continue wearing that smile, the marks, one day that marks will be broken. And the way it will be shattered, you won't even believe it. That's the truth. Wow. And then the floods of all you've been hiding comes pouring in front of you.
This episode is going to be I already feel the connection. I already feel the emotions. I already feel it. And I'm going to ask you a question that is regularly asked and people just answer flippantly. Kate,
yeah,
how are you?
If I want to use the regular word, I would say yes, I'm fine.
We don't want to be regular, right? We don't do regular here. We do deep things. We do truths. We do unmasking. Remember, we are unmasking in this episode.
Yes.
And naturally, when I ask people how are you, I expect them to tell me how they are, not how are you, I'm fine kind of answer. So once again, how are you?
I'm a healing woman. In the process, not yet there fully, but at least better than where I used to be, and better than where I'm coming from. Now I can talk about it.
Yeah.
But for some periods ago, I couldn't even just, it was a room I just locked up that I don't want to go there. And I was dying in silence. But now I can talk about it. So, and talking about it is the first healing, I guess.
Yes. Yes.
So I'm better.
I like that.
I'm better.
I like that.
I'm being me now.
Good.
Yeah, I'm
I
being
like
me
that.
now.
I like that. I can see that from your response. I can see that there was a lot you were dealing with that people didn't know about.
Yes.
I can see that. And from your introduction, you said you have children. So that means that the marriage produced children.
Yes, I did.
So how are your children? How are they in this whole situation? How are they taking it? How are you able to help them deal with the situation of the separation?
Okay. Initially, everybody was as bruised as I was.
Okay.
But though, because I was carrying bearing it more, so I could say I was 100% bruised. Then probably the kids were 60-70% bruised. But now, like right now, since I started going through my own healing process, therapy and all that, so the children too are going through their therapy, and they've come to a certain point where I can say, okay, they are better. But I know every one of us are still going through process of healing.
I like thank you for the honesty to say they are better, not that they are fine, because things like this have, they have a way of affecting the emotional welfare or emotional being of children, especially teenagers. I know you have teenagers.
Yes.
In fact, you no longer have children, you have all teenagers. Teenagers and adults at this point. So I applaud you for how far you've come for the past few years you've been dealing with this. So we're going to continue in this our conversation on masking. Let us know. There's this thing people cling to. We all cling to the roles. You said it before, the strong one, the hero, the helper, the one that is always happy.
Yes.
What are we really afraid of that makes us cling onto that role? We want to make people believe that we are strong. Why?
First is the society. Then second, the people we think we are doing this for. We feel we don't want them to be broken. We feel we don't want them to be disappointed. So we continue getting more injured, getting more bruised. And funny enough, by the time you're done with harming yourself unknowingly to you, there's some people, they are not going to applaud you. They'll still look for something to say you didn't do right.
Wow.
So because you don't want the society to say you're a single mother, because you don't want the people to say that it has happened before, maybe her mother had that case, so let it not be like a generational thing. So because of that, so you want to say, okay, let me just stay in there. It's not working. I'm being bruised, but nobody is seeing my tears. But let me just stay. Let me just stay so that the society don't count it for me. But the truth is, with what I know now, it's better you're out and you're in your right frame of mind than being in there and you die. Because when you're gone, you're gone.
That's it. You
won't even be able to tell your story, and they will twist the same story.
That's very true.
So then another thing again is, sometimes because of the person we are dealing with, the other partner, you don't want the world to see that person as a bad person.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to place a crown of honor on them, and you don't want people to see their weaknesses. So you decide to take that pain. You decide to cover it up the way the society, the way it will suit the society and suit the other partner. But I tell you, if that partner were to be you, they won't take what you are taking for them.
That's true.
And even while you think you're doing them a favor, or maybe you think you're giving a crown of honor to them, they're not even saying it, because they are still the same person coming to kind of blackmail you and say, you remember this thing is in your family, so you better, I'm just doing you a favor so that what happened to your mother won't happen to you.
Wow.
So at the end of the day, you find out that you're being injured in a double way. But you just have to wear the smile. Like, people tend to tell me, like, people will say, are you serious? But I always say, you guys are so good together. I always see you smiling. You look good all the time and all that. Well, I just had to, for the sake of my kids, for the sake of the honor, for the sake of the society, and especially the church.
Wow.
But like right now, I know better.
Wow.
Because some Christian sisters are going to tell you, why do you want to leave? Why do you want to leave? And the Bible says, or you know, everybody looks for the scripture that suits their validation.
Wow.
Not thinking of how you are feeling. You that you're there. Not thinking of how you're feeling. Not thinking of it that before I tell you something is wrong with me, I would have exceeded the space I have, my thresholds, you know, I would have exceeded it. So for you to hear me speak up, it means I can't handle it anymore.
This is serious. You know, it's beginning to be more to become more clearer that societal pressure is real.
It is.
Because in the first episode, we also saw where societal pressure was there. In this episode, we're also seeing societal pressures. Yeah. The earlier we start validating ourselves without the pressures of people, without minding the validation, what people have to say, the better for us. That's I, for one, learned the hard way that nobody cares. I learned years after I was, you know, thinking, what will people say? What would I had to deal with that for a long time. But when I realized that nobody cares, because if you do it this way, they will complain. Yeah. If you do it the other way, they will complain. So why will I bother about the pressures of people who probably have their lives they are living? So it's important for us to take notes about the pressure and not soak ourselves in the pressure of the world and lose ourselves.
I actually lost myself.
I was coming there.
I actually lost myself. Like, for a whole lot of people that know me, the real people that know me, like, very closely, they noticed. Like, there was a day I told my brother, I said, I lost my confidence. He said, you, my sister, losing your confidence? Can anybody ever make you lose your confidence? I said, yes, I lost my self-esteem. Like, I lost it completely. To the point, if I'm with people, you know, when I'm with a fellow woman, I can't even express myself. So I had to take in a whole lot. You're doing what I don't like to me. I felt it became like it's a normal thing. It became like it's a normal thing because I'm not able to speak up.
Yeah.
Because I notice when you're dealing through stuff, if you don't speak up, if you don't yell out, if you don't, you know, before you know it, you'll be blackmailed for it. And so because of that aspect, I decided to just hide into that corner and continue taking it. It affected me in a whole lot of things. But wow. So I lost my self-confidence. It's now that I'm coming back to me. I'm coming back to me now. Like, I had to cut a lot of friends off, especially the sisters. The sisters. No. I had to remember. I had to tell myself that, okay, the real Catherine grew up with bomb shots, grew up with being herself, being, you know, the kind of hair she wants to do, the kind of music she wants to listen to, the kind of, I just want to just go into the church, serve my God, and just go. I don't want to be bounded by those. I
know. This is really intense here. This is really intense. I don't know if you can feel it, but I feel the intensity of this conversation. It's actually not going exactly the way I planned it to go, and we are not going to hold back. Like we said, this is real talk, this is real life, this is real people. We are talking to you from a place of experience.
Yeah.
So as we go on, I want to ask, is it possible that some of us stay busy to avoid this feeling that we are having, like this that you lost yourself, you had self-esteem issues? And please, this self-esteem issues is becoming something we need to talk about, because the first episode had that self-esteem pop up. Now we have self-esteem popping up.
Yeah.
So is it possible that some of us keep ourselves so busy to avoid some feelings?
Yes.
And has that been true for you, and how was it?
That was my second weapon.
Wow.
That was my second weapon. I had to channel every energy I had to walk. I had to walk, just so that I wouldn't think about it. Because when you're calling the other person that let's talk about this thing is not going, and you know, you're hearing words like you're not serious, you don't know what you're talking about. And when it's coming that way, okay, because I don't want issues, because I don't want it to be like there's always a rancor and all that, especially because of the children. You know, we always feel the children don't see anything. So because I don't want the children to like always notice there's a rancor, so because of that, I had to channel all my energy to work. So if I'm not doing this work, I'm doing the other work. If I'm not doing the other work, I'm doing the other work. No vacation, no nothing.
Wow. I think I maybe I did a disservice by not introducing this woman very well. But thank God the conversation has brought us here, because this is somebody who, like she said, soaked herself in work. Apart from being gifted, I know she's a very gifted person. I will get there. Don't worry. Just be calming down. She's a very gifted person. Why do I say that? She makes shoes. She's a content creator. She is a decorator. She is, you see, anything your hands can do, anything your hand can produce. She's a farmer. She goes for mugo, if you know what I mean. She the bath woman, way born. You know, she's very gifted. But from her story now, I'm beginning to realize that she got busy with everything just because she needed to cover up.
Yeah. And pay bills.
And pay bills, right?
And pay
even
bills.
when you are not supposed to. You know. So now there was something you said about the children. There's this thing about staying for children.
Yeah.
That is very, very common in marriages. I'm staying because of my children.
Yeah.
And I've realized that most times the children come back to ask you questions.
Yes.
Why? Who did I ask you to stay for me?
Yes.
How was that for you? How did you cope with that?
Okay, for me, in fact, that was an intriguing part, because I failed to tell myself the truth. Despite the fact I know the truth. But because I was blackmailed into a box, so I just stay in that box. Then there was this day, my little daughter, she was nine years then, so she just came up and gave me an instance of her friends, you know, how the father showers love to the mother and all that. And I was like, wow, that's really nice. And the next thing she said, yes, that's marriage. I was shocked. I was like, whoa, where's that coming from? He said, it's not this thing you're in. Wow. And that's just a 9 years old girl.
I need to sit properly.
I don't understand. I wanted to hit her, like, you know, the way we mothers do, like
African mothers.
African mothers. And the next thing, the elder one said, she's telling you what we can't tell you because we are checking your emotions.
Wow.
And they said, I advise you leave. And I'm like, you guys don't understand. I don't want you guys to go through that. I don't want, they said, what you're making us go through is worse than what you think you make us go through. So they said, we stay in and watch you. They said you pretend a lot.
Oh, wow.
You pretend a lot.
These are her own children.
Yes,
speaking.
my kids telling me
Take
that.
notes.
So they say you pretend a lot. You tend to please everybody. You tend to make everybody happy. But you're not happy. And we see it. We know it. And it's breaking us.
Wow.
So, and at that point, I felt shattered. Because I felt what I was covering for years. It's been open, thrown to my face, like without anything to shield it. Not covering anymore. And they now went ahead and said, don't say it's because of us you're in this. Because we don't want you to be in this. Both of you are better apart. That was what my kids told
in our
me.
local parlance, we call it ichoke. Ichoke, I mean no choke.
Seriously, choke.
Where the same children you felt you were in it for.
Yes.
You know, let's protect. The children came out to tell you to your face. If you are out there listening and you hear your mom saying this, please give her kudos. And I give you kudos for making her take the right step, because I can see she's doing better at this point.
Honestly, I feel better.
I'm glad. I'm really excited. I'm really excited. And I want to really encourage you. I want to really appreciate the fact that you took out your time to take care of yourself. You know, one thing I see in some of us in marriages, relationships, is that the moment we get into a relationship or a marriage, we stop taking care of ourselves. As women, we stop. As if once you answer the name Mrs. or once you know that, I'm excited, and I'm happy to see that, you know, the same children they are all pushing you to the right path.
Yes.
And I congratulate those children.
Thank you.
Because I don't know, we don't want to delve too deep into that, but I congratulate those children. Now that brings me to my next question. Was there a moment, you know, where this mask you were wearing, all the smile, all the busyness, everything, was there a moment ever that your mask slipped?
Yes.
Was there a moment where someone saw the real you?
Yes.
So what happened next?
Okay. That happened when that was like maybe 10 years ago. Yeah, 10 years ago. I went to church to pray that point, and after praying, so I was actually crying out to God that the Lord is so much for me. That everybody sees me as the hero, but I know that I'm not a hero, and I just need help. I don't know how to tell my story. I don't know how to take this whole thing off me. So, and at that point, after that, so I just saw my female pastor then. In fact, she called me aside and took me to, I never knew anybody was around. So she called me and she took me to her room. And she said, Catherine, she said, be the woman and allow your husband to be the man. And I'm like, ma, I don't understand. I really respect him. I honor him. She said, no. If it's that one, you have more than A1. If there's any grade to be given to you more than that, I guess if she has to watch this, she would remember. And she said, you're overworking yourself. You're carrying so much on you, and you're making the man relax.
Whoa.
So the man is now being the woman, and you being the man. Wow. And that was a big blow for me. It was a really big blow because I was shocked that nobody knows. I've never come out to tell anybody how we run. I never come to because my first aim is his honor must not be tampered with. So I was really shocked when she said that, and I was cold. But you know what? After that scenario, I ran from her. I ran from her because I don't want anybody knowing my story. I don't want any problem. I don't just want issues. And I don't want them to look down on him. So because of that, I ran from her.
Wow.
But now I know better. I understand what she was saying.
It seemed like it was all about him in the relationship. You were just out to, like what God commanded us to do, to honor the man, to submit.
Yes.
So it seemed like you were really doing the submitting,
Yes.
which was a good thing. But like she said, she probably she observed and realized that you were now becoming the man,
yes,
while the man became the woman.
Yes.
Now let us talk about that. If that's okay by you, let's talk about that role, because I want to believe for her to say that there were things she saw. It's not just that you were praying on the altar. There were things she saw. She said you were overworking yourself.
Yeah.
You were trying to be the man. What were those things you think that you were doing that made it seem like you were taking over the man's role and overworking yourself? And now the woman is saying, can you just be the lady in this relationship? What do you think?
The thing is, a woman is wired to be at the background, not necessarily at the background as in like not showing your intellect or anything. A man is built to be the provider, and a woman is just a support system.
Yeah.
So in that case, it was a scenario of like the woman is the provider, then she's doing it at the background, but the truth is it's a one person, because I don't even get to dish out money by myself. No. Okay. It's a one person. I don't
you work and put in one purse. As in you're supposed to work together and put in the purse, but you were the one working and putting in the purse.
Because I don't know that thing they say. That thing they say, a woman's money is her money, then a man's money is our money. No. It was the reverse was the case for me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, reverse was the case. So my money is our money. Then his money, he can manage the way he wants. I don't have a hold over it. I don't know how that is. So the thing was, when the man is not playing that role of being a provider, even to the woman, I had cases like, you're not my responsibility.
Oh, wow.
I always, that was like a song in my ears. You're not my responsibility. Okay, fine. Even the kids, go ahead and do the responsibility. No. Anytime there's any bill to you pay, you just hear, oh yeah, madam, see you. There's but not knowing this masculine part of me would definitely come out. Not in the sense of disrespecting, but when a woman overwork herself, before she start looking like the boss in her comes up, whether you like it or not. So if you want her to be a woman, I want to enjoy, see my man take care of me, buy me stuff, baby girl, Wow. So but it was the other way around. So
I think at this point I want to appreciate the female pastor that brought that attention to you, even though it was 10 years ago. Nothing happened afterwards. But I think she sowed a seed that probably helped you when it was time.
Yes, when it was time. That's the truth.
The right thing.
Yes.
So I think
I appreciate her for that.
Yeah.
She might not really know it. But because I ran from her since then.
Yeah,
but
you said so.
But I held that.
Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Now, as I'm talking to you, please click the subscribe button if you haven't. Like, share to others to learn from what we are going to have fun about, what we're going to discuss about. Okay, so at this point we're very, very curious. We want to know, how did you cope with the emotional trauma, the emotional torture, the pain? How did you cope? Tell us.
The truth is, the pain, I don't know if there's a way I can name that pain or quantify it, but emotional trauma is a silent killer. You know, people always think physical abuse, that's the highest of it. But I tell you, it's not. At least sometimes when a punch is coming for physical abuse, you can decide to dodge. But this one, emotionally, the person is already dealing with you emotionally. And especially like my own case, that they will have to tell me words. You know, look for those words that can pierce into your bloodstream. And now at the end of the day, unbox you, like put you in the box, like saying things like, if you know, people know I'm a very quiet person, so if you mention it, nobody will believe you, and at the end of the day, they know you are the gra person, so nobody's gonna believe you. So at the end of the day, you are now, you know, I was just bottling a whole lot inside. Then there was a time that I was always, it was as if my head, like I was almost running mad. Like something was crawling on my head. It got to a point when I'm walking on the road, tears are coming down, I'm talking to myself, but I don't know I'm talking to myself.
Wow.
I enjoy walking, and the reason why, you know, I channeled a lot of things to hitting the gym and all that, but I was sick. I was sick. My inner man was sick. And physically, before you know, I broke down. Severally, I just get to break down because these things are just being in there, and I'm putting up the marks. I don't want people to, I don't know who to talk to. Sometimes it's not like people don't feel like sharing, but you don't know the right person to talk to. And you don't want people to be judgmental. You don't want people to say, you're bringing out your marriage to the public. Anything that happens, just keep it in and all that, you know. So the emotional trauma was terrible. I was almost going. I actually was almost going.
Wow.
And anytime I say, let's talk about this, these things you do to me, I don't like it. Okay, what do I do to you so that I too will work on it, you know? And the next thing, you're like, you're hearing things like, it's your business, you're not submissive. And I keep wondering, what's the meaning of submission? I go to the Bible to check being a submissive wife. I go to social media to check, you know, and at the end of the day, anything I see, I would just apply, but it never did anything. And I was dying silently. I was really dying silently. Before you know, today hospital, tomorrow hospital. Even for the hospital, I get to hear things like, if you believe you're sick, then you're sick. Where is your faith? Just so whoa. it was a terrible
So how did you
scenario.
manage? How did you
So at a point, I derived pleasure in listening to music. I love music. So sometimes when you hear people sing music, don't just listen to the tunes, the rhythm. Check the wordings of that song. So I started, there are some songs I had to write. There are some songs the Holy Spirit will just help me. There are some songs I will have to listen to. Then I keep telling myself, speaking, you know, trying to tell myself, no, you're not this person, you're this person. You're not what they say you are. You're trying. I started patting myself on the back. Then I went to social media. I started listening to some encouraging, you know, messages. Funny enough, then anytime I open social media, I will hear, if it stores it, leave. And I'll be like, devil, I bind you. Devil, I bind you, because you know, because in this Christendom, they're not spelling it out. They're not spelling it out properly. So I was always seeing that as maybe God, you know, when they will say God doesn't like divorce and all that, it's like as if maybe God hates the person involved. But with what I know now, I know it's a no. God wants you to be alive.
Yeah.
He wants you to be alive. Like when he left, I heard in my spirit, you've been asking me, take this cup away from you, and him leaving, do you know if that's the cup I took away from you, and you're still begging for him to come back?
Whoa, he even left.
Yes,
and
he
she
left.
was praying
eventually
for him
left
to come back.
Yeah.
So for anyone listening who is tired of pretending,
Yeah.
right, was one brave step that they can take? What do you advise that is a good step to take to being seen without the mask? You remember we're unmasking.
Yes.
Like, what should I do to be seen if I'm tired of pretending, if I'm tired to be behind this whole mask thing, being the strong person, being the hero like you said from the beginning? What is that thing I can do to begin to unmask?
Okay, for me, the way I had to unmask was the first thing, I told myself the truth.
Wow.
I told myself the truth. Because if others are telling you the truth, you are calling it a lie. But if you tell yourself that truth, then that truth will have to stand.
Wow.
So, and I told myself the truth the one of the days that he called and was saying, I'm only doing you a favor so that what happened to your mother will not happen to you. And I had to say, okay, fine. At this point, I'm not my mother, and what happened to my mom will not happen to me. So I said, okay, you know what, guy, I can say you are the Messiah. Save yourself. I save myself. I want to be me. Then I took stock and I checked it. Okay, fine. Feeding, housing, everything. Whoa. Not like you're doing any. Out of 100%, I do 90%.
Wow.
And you are doing 10%. So if you are doing 10% and you're still telling me you're doing me a favor so that I can stay married, that name married, and I'm dying. So I had to tell myself that truth, that no, if I can do this, if God can help me to sustain the family to this point, then I can do better, and it's better to be alive. So I had to choose me. And when I chose me, I took off a lot of people who are toxic from me. I took people who are judgmental away from me. I had to take a lot of church activities away from me because nobody knew what I was going through. So I had to live for me. I became self-centered.
So she had to ask herself who she really is. Very, very key. Very, very important. Very, very important. And now there was something you said about choosing you.
Yeah.
I love that part. If you look at the first episode, we talked about, Master Kamsi talked about being selfish about your welfare. Here again, we're talking about being selfish about your welfare. Mental health is you being selfish about your mental health, your mental well-being, right? Staying away from toxicity, she said that, and staying away from judgmental people. But this one, I've heard so much about the church, What? We need to address this issue someday. Why is it that the church is no longer a place where people feel safe? Why is it that the church is no longer, people in the church are no longer seen as a safe and as a safe space or a home? They don't feel at home anymore. She had to leave some church activities. And this is not the first time that I see people trying to get themselves stay away. I have my own experience of having to stay away from certain things for a number of years to become. So I think it's something we will have to talk about eventually. So rounding up for today, this episode has really been emotional, intense, and I want to believe that we have learned so much from you. We have learned so much and we really appreciate you. So rounding up, I want to say that we all wear masks one way or the other. Some of us wear masks for protection.
Yeah.
Some of us wear masks for simple survival.
Yes.
But healing begins when we begin to take off those masks, whether it's for protection, whether it's for survival. So I want to say that if today's conversation stirred something in you, I want you to know that you are not alone and you don't have to pretend to be okay to be loved. You don't have to pretend to be okay to get love.
So true.
So let us choose courage over the image, what people will say. Let us choose presence over performance. So until next time, stay honest, stay soft, and stay connected. Once again, this is Unplug with Auntie Ejay. Real life, real talk, and real people. Remain blessed.